Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to talk about the pistol brace rule again, but today we're going to take a very unique local perspective. All the videos that we've done so far here on the channel have kind of focused on the rule from a national perspective, but I think there is a unique local angle that the hometown crowd here in the state of Washington needs to be aware of. And ultimately, first and foremost, we are Washington Gun Law, the home of Washington's lawful and responsible gun owners. So this is really for the hometown crowd here. But I do think that you need to understand that this pistol brace rule has a chain reaction amongst the RCWs and how you maintain your lawful and responsible gun owning behavior. So today, let's spend a few minutes and talk about how the pistol brace rule can double screw you in Washington State. Okay, so the issue we're talking about yet again today is the pistol brace rule, but I want you to understand the unique wrinkle that you as a lawful and responsible gun-owning Washington resident may experience depending on what your choice is. Now, for those of you who want to geek out or have not yet geeked out on the pistol brace rule, check out any one of these videos right here. We're not going to get deep into that. That's for those videos over there. But here's the bottom line is if you went to bed one night, the proud owner of what you thought was an AR pistol, only to wake up the following morning and find out, though, instead you were the adoptive parent of a federally regulated short barrel rifle, or what we call an NFA item, you now are within this 120-day window in which you can register that under a Form 1 as a short barrel rifle and do so tax-free. Of course, once you do that and you get your tax stamp approved, you will now be the owner of an NFA item subject to all the restrictions that come with that. We've done videos on the past and we will be doing more of that on the future, okay? Now, at that point, you don't own an AR pistol anymore, okay? At that point, you now are the owner of a short barrel rifle, which also, interesting, means if you wanted to, you can go ahead and take the pistol brace off the back, drop in a full stock, put a forward grip on it. You can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster now. It is your short barrel rifle. Now, we also know that Washington State seems to be rather picky about what types of firearms we can own and seems to be getting pickier by the day. So the statutes I want you to be aware of today is RCW 9.41.190, a list of what firearms are unlawful in the state of Washington. And then we're going to have to go geek out over in the definitional section, 9.41.010, so you can understand the interplay and the chain reaction. Because now, if you own an AR pistol, you essentially have four options, right? You can either destroy the firearm, you can surrender the firearm to ATF. No, if you're going to do that, why don't you just do option number one and destroy it yourself. You can reconfigure the firearm. That is, go ahead and take the upper receiver off, go with a barrel now of at least 16 inches or more. That's perfectly fine. And remember, we can go from pistol to rifle. We just can't go rifle to pistol. Check that out on this video right here. And then the fourth option is we can register it. Now, let's say that we have decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do any of them. Okay, I think this is unconstitutional. I think this is ridiculous. I think this far exceeds any agency's rulemaking authority, all of which I would have a tendency to agree. And you, on your own, have decided, I'm not going to comply. What can happen to you? Well, on a federal level, we've talked about that on several of these videos, but yeah, you can be charged with a felony on a federal level. You're now an unlawful possessor of a federally regulated NFA item without an approved tax stamp, and that is punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine on the federal level. However, if you fail to register that firearm and you keep possession of it, you would now be in possession, presumably, when we take a look at the definitional section, of a short barrel rifle in Washington State. RCW 9.41.190, which makes the possession of short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, machine guns, bump stocks, and other devices unlawful in Washington State, has a very important exception for short barrel rifles. That section reads, 2. It is not unlawful for a person to manufacture, own, buy, sell, loan, furnish, transport, assemble, or repair, or have in possession or under control a short-barreled rifle or any part designed or intended solely and exclusively for use in a short-barreled rifle or in converting a weapon into a short-barreled rifle if the person is in compliance with applicable federal law. So there is an exception in Washington law that you can own a short barrel rifle so long as you are in compliance with federal law. Now, federal law says one thing, but when we add the rulemaking order over the top, what it essentially means is if you do possess one of these firearms, you either have to destroy it, surrender it, reconfigure it, or register it. If you've chosen to do none of those, then this exception here in 941-190 subsection 2 does not apply. What does that mean? You now are in unlawful possession of a short barrel rifle under Washington state law. That is a Class C felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Now, I know the question you're going to ask is, okay, well, I see how federal law defines it, but how does state law define it? Well, I think that if we take a look at how state law defines short barrel rifle, and then take a look at how they define rifle, and we take a look at what the intent of the ATF is through their rulemaking order, and then consider the political powers that be in this state, do I think that there's a little window or narrow gap in the law in which we could turn around and actually weave our way out of this trouble? Perhaps, but probably not, okay? Here is how Washington state law defines a short barrel rifle. Short barrel rifle means a rifle having one or more barrels less than 16 inches in length, and any weapon made from a rifle by any means of modification if such modified weapon has an overall length of less than 26 inches. So essentially a short barrel rifle is a rifle with a barrel less than 16 inches. So then we have to figure out, how is a rifle defined by Washington law? Well, it's defined as follows. Rifle means a weapon designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to be fired from the shoulder, and designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to use the energy of the explosive in a fixed metallic cartridge to fire only a single projectile through a rifle bore for each single pull of the trigger. And it is, of course, the language intended to be fired from the shoulder, because what ATF is saying is these stabilizing braces tell us that these firearms are actually designed to be fired from the shoulder. And therein lies the problem, the double rub, the double trap, if you would, that if you choose not to comply with this federal rulemaking order, you could find yourself potentially in trouble both on the federal level and on the state level as well. Now, we are only about 1 week into the publication of the rule, which means we still have about 113 days to go, and I personally am going to wait at least 30 days before I decide which direction I'm going to go as far as do I register or do I wait further, and that's going to be based a lot on the legal landscape as it sits at that time. We already have done this video right here about one of the lawsuits that dropped, and I can assure you there will be many, many more. The legal landscape of where this rule sits 3 to 4 weeks from now may be significantly different than where it is now. That's why I am choosing to wait. However, you have to make the decision that is best for you. We here at Washington Gun Law are really picky. We do not want to tell you how to think. We just want to give you the things to think about. And obviously, we realize that some of you do not want to comply with this law. If you choose not to, and if you get caught, our job is to let you know, to inform you, to educate you what the consequences of those choices could be. Now listen, you're going to have a lot more questions about this and other things related to the Pistol Brace Rule. And if you do, you guys know the drill by now. You can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. In the meantime, let's remember, part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.